What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Trucker 219. Today we're diving into May Trucking. In this video, we're calling a driver recruiter to see what they're offering new drivers. We're taking a look at some online reviews to see what other drivers have had to say about May Trucking. And we also get the rare opportunity to speak to a driver who's recently gone to work with May. And with just over a couple of weeks on the job, we get some recent first-hand experience of what it's like. And at the end of the video, I'll answer the question, okay or no way. Would I, Trucker 219, go to work for May Trucking? So stay tuned to the end of the video because you won't want to miss that. Let's go.
Please wait while we connect you to the next available agent. May Trucking Recruiting, how can I help you?
Hi, I was calling to see what it would be like to come and work for you guys. I will be finishing up CDL school here this Friday.
Okay. Did you have any specific questions or?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what you guys are offering, what training looks like, cents per mile, miles, home time, tuition, reimbursement, things like that.
Let's start with a couple things first, and then we can keep going from there, just so I don't forget anything. With you being entry level, we start at 41 cents per mile. The division that would be available would be the 48th State Division, which is out for 3 to 4 weeks at a time. It is primarily refrigerated freight, coast to coast. And then that one typically has a home time of a day per week. So if you're out for 3 to 4 weeks, that's 3 to 4 days.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then for orientation, that's typically 5 days. After that, you go out with a mentor for 2 to 6 days. And then after that, it's up to 10 days to, test out, make sure you're soloed out properly. So with that in mind, most people by the third week are out on their own soloing.
Okay, so after the 5 days of training, like in the orientation and stuff, normally 3 days after that people are done, or after the 2 to 6 days with a trainer?
So 3 weeks total. So 5 days out, or 5 days for orientation, 2 to 6 days with a mentor typically, and then up to 10 days after. So combined, about 3 weeks is average.
Okay, gotcha. And then what's the pay while you're in training?
So the Monday of orientation is not paid, but if you're hired, then Tuesday through Friday of orientation itself is paid at $15 an hour. After that, it's 120 days every day you're out with a mentor.
$120 a day?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. And then is there any sort of contract that I would have to serve with you guys for going through your guys' training?
So it's a W-2 position, so basic, employment, but you don't have to have a contract with us for a minimum time. You also wouldn't need it for a reimbursement, which would be it would be $60 every week to help you pay back what you had paid for school or help you pay back your loan. And that's all upon hire. And that's paid up until you either are no longer with the company or until it's paid off.
Okay, so it's $60 a week for tuition reimbursement.
Correct.
Gotcha. And there's no cap
contract
on that?
Well, there is a cap for when it's finished, but I haven't heard of a high cap for us, not being able to help complete a loan. So most loans we can handle. If it's an exuberant amount, I suppose that would be a discussion we would have, but I haven't heard of our cap.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. As far as the cents per mile, you said 41 cents per mile starting out. Now, what is the progression period, or when will that start to go up?
It goes to 43 at 3 months, 44 at 6 months, and then 55 at a year.
Okay.
I said 45, right? It was 45 at a year. I apologize. I wanted to make sure.
Oh yeah, I heard 55. I apologize. 45 at a year mark.
No, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's okay. Yeah, that's for a different division, so I wanted to make sure I said it properly. So, yeah, 45 with an average of about 9,000 miles in a month.
Okay, 9,000 a month.
Yep, that's typically average.
Okay. And then you had mentioned on the first day of orientation, it's not paid. And you said if you are hired after that, what does that mean? What is that? Is that first day of orientation like a drug test or something?
Drug test, driving, backing skill test. Essentially, orientation is, not promised for hire. Most people aren't hired until about the Thursday or Friday of orientation.
Okay, so on that first week, you'll know whether or not you got the job either Thursday or Friday.
Yes, exactly. Because, you're doing classwork. We want to make sure it's something you're comfortable with, but we also want to make sure it's something that, we are seeing progression with as well. So to make sure it's a good fit, orientation this Tuesday through Friday, if hired, would be paid at the $15 an hour.
Okay. And then as far as transportation to get to orientation, do you guys do like a rental car or a bus ticket or anything like that?
We pay for hotel and travel accommodation. Anything more specific would need to be discussed during, scheduling, since I wouldn't be able to promise what we would be able to do at this time.
Okay, gotcha. And then last couple questions here. Do you guys have cameras in your trucks?
We have outward-facing cameras. Technically, there are inward-facing cameras, but those can be blocked off as they're not utilized.
Okay. So you guys have them for insurance purposes, but it's not necessarily necessary to keep them running?
We have the internal ones because that's what the systems come with. We only activate the outward-facing cameras.
Gotcha. Okay. And then last question, what are your guys' trucks governed at?
So they're going to be starting at 61 miles per hour, and then once you have completed the 90-day probation, it can go up to 65.
All right. I think that is all the questions that I have for you. I'm calling around to different companies today trying to figure out where I want to go to work, so I will be in touch if I do decide to go with you guys.
Sounds good. If you are interested, you can apply at maytrucking.com or through the Driver Pulse app, and we'll be happy to help you pass that.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Have a good one.
You as well. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so I just got off the phone with the recruiter from May Trucking, and she was a very friendly person to talk to, answered all my questions. And in that call, we found out that the driver training process is about 3 weeks long, 5 days in orientation, of which you are not sure whether or not you got hired up until like Thursday or Friday of that first week. In those first couple of days, they're testing your backing skills, doing drug tests, and doing road tests as well to make sure that you're a good fit for the company and that the company is a good fit for you. The next 2 to 6 days you'll be with a driver mentor, and then there's an additional 10 days of the driver training program to test your skills. During the training period for those first 5 days, minus the first day of orientation, you'll be paid out at $15 an hour. After that, the rest of the time is paid out at $120 a day. Unfortunately, May Trucking does not offer any sort of CDL training program. This means that you'll have to go to a trucking school or a private institution before you go and work for May. The cents per mile progression goes like this: 41 cents per mile till you reach your first 3 months, where you'll bump up to 43 cents per mile. Another 3 months after that, when you reach your 6-month mark, you'll go up to 44 cents per mile. And then once you've reached a year of experience, they'll move you up to 45 cents per mile. They said the average miles for the month was 9,000, which when divided across 4 weeks out of a month, the average weekly then becomes 2,240 miles. Their home time policy is a week out, a week home, but they expect you to stay out on the road for 3 to 4 weeks at a time before taking home time. May does offer tuition reimbursement of $60 per week, which pans out to be $240 a month. May Trucking does have cameras, an outward-facing camera and an inward-facing camera. However, they said that they don't use the inward-facing cameras, but the system automatically came with that, so they're automatically in the truck. And for your first 90 days of your probationary period, the governor is set at 61 miles per hour. And then once you get out of that probationary period, you'll go up to 65 miles per hour. All right, so according to the recruiter, they're doing about 9,000 miles a month, which broken down to a weekly is $2,240 per week. So we'll take $2,240 a week and multiply that by 41 cents per mile, because that's what they said the new drivers are making. And that gives you $918 before taxes. But they did say after a year, you could go up to 45 cents per mile. So we'll try for 45 cents per mile, and that brings you at $1,008 a week. So $918.40 a week. So if you take $918.40 a week, multiply that by 20% for taxes. Your taxes could be more, could be less, depending on where you're at. That gets you $183.68. Take $918.40, subtract $183.68. That's about what your paycheck would look like after taxes, which it seems it's pretty clear that May Trucking is not the place to go if money is the most important thing to you. you. But let's go ahead and check out some reviews online to see if their company culture makes it worth it to receive less money. All right, so we're over here on the Indeed page, and it's showing that they have 3.3 stars, and this is based off of 554 reviews. And as you can see, the majority of that is 5, 4, and 3 stars, with 3 stars being the highest, which definitely correlates to that 3.3 star range. But we got these reviews sorted to the newest, so we're going to take a look and see what some of those have to say. This first one is a 3-star from October 28th, just the other day. Great for experience right after trucking school. Over-the-road company driver. Good starter company. One of the few companies that will hire you right out of trucking school. You will learn a lot driving over the road. You will drive mainly in the West, though. Okay, so I think this is just primarily based off of where you're located. Most companies like to try to keep you within a certain radius of where your hometown is so that they're able to get you home in a decent amount of time from your request. Okay, so this one's a 5-star from a company CDL solo driver over the road. It's a 5-star and it says positive experience. What was the best part of working for the company? Always steady work and around the whole year. The most stressful part was you got to stay out on the road at least 21 days. The work environment was like family. Everybody helps each other out. What is a typical day like? When you finish one job, the next one is already lined up. Okay, that's a great review. Lots of positives, and even the stressful part. I mean, you're going into an over-the-road truck driving job, so you should expect to be out for a while. Okay, so this 5-star review says fair company, truck driver out of Fontana, California. They do what they say they will do. I got 8,000 miles a month. You work hard and the pay could be better. Equipment is within 3 years. It is fairly laid back and you can communicate with dispatch about delays. They are good about bad weather. Cool. So that's definitely a positive that you don't see very often, is that if there is a situation with some bad weather, if you call your dispatch and say, hey, it's super snowy out here, I can barely see in front of the truck, I'm not running, they're not going to give you a hard time about it. Okay, so this one's a commercial driver out of Brooks, Oregon. 5-star review saying rewarding, thank you to May Trucking. And I'm guessing these questions are just something that Indeed promotes and has you answer, so it's just kind of the same thing repetitively, but people are giving different answers to them. Best part of working for the company is the fact that they took a chance on me, allowing me to test my abilities across the United States, showing me anything is possible with hard work and dedication. What is the most stressful part about working at the company? So stress only happens when you allow it in. So I'm guessing that they're basically meaning if you allow yourself to get stressed, you're going to be stressed. What is the work environment and culture like at the company? 5 stars. I see no flaws in their system. What is a typical day like for you at the company? Every day is challenging. They provide the proper training to execute a solution to each one. Okay, so a couple of really good reviews back to back there. 3-star here from a truck driver. Good experience. Great starter company to gain experience. Also a second chance company. The people are cool. Trucks aren't really fast, but the equipment is great. Only real downside is pay. Yeah, and we've seen that when we're breaking down the numbers that they gave us, that the pay at 41 cents per mile is really rough. But I think about it like this, comparatively to when I started trucking almost 10 years ago, I started out at 34 cents per mile. So 41 cents over 10 years is still a bump up. And I was able to make it and be successful in the industry, even at an even lower pay than what they're paying. So it's definitely possible to do. It's just out of the companies that we've looked at so far, they definitely have some of the lower pay. But according to these reviews so far, a lot of the company personnel and the environment at the company is a positive experience for them. Okay, so we got another 3-star here from September. We'll hire you out of trucking school. It says they will hire you out of trucking school and you don't have to spend a long time with a trainer, but the pay is too low for being away from home for so long. Very good trucks that are well maintained. The trailers not so much, but the mechanics will fix any issues at their terminals. You can run direct miles if you start over road, but sometimes they'll do a shady swap with another load, leaving you with less miles. And this was a truck driver out of Pensacola, Florida. But just keep in mind what seems to be a shady swap is in an effort to get the load there closer to on time. Say one truck is struggling to get a load from point A to point B before the deadline of the delivery. Oftentimes these major companies will utilize their bulk of trucks to make that happen a little bit quicker. Kind of running one trailer as a team operation instead of one truck and one trailer. So they'll have you hand off a trailer when you're fixing to go on your 10-hour break so the next driver can run it for those next 10 hours instead of being down. And this is a pretty common thing in major carriers. Okay, we got another 5-star here from September 21st. Amazing. All right, we got another 5-star here from September, an over-the-road truck driver out of Mississippi. It says the best part of working for the company is always taking care of its employees. What's the most stressful part? May Trucking is a great company to work for. Doesn't really answer the question, what's the stressful part, but okay. What is the work environment and culture like at the company? Everyone is helpful no matter what terminal you're at. What is a typical day like? Always working and getting my loads on time to the destination. So this person left a 1-star review, but left a positive title of it, so that's kind of weird. What is the best part of working for the company? Had a family emergency, said I could return after surgery. I was lied to. What is the most stressful part of working at the company? None at all. I enjoyed driving for this company. What is the work environment like at the company? It was a great adventure and I loved the roads I traveled. What is a typical day like for you at the company? Great adventure and meeting other people. Okay, so I'm not sure what they were lied to about as far as their family emergency was going on, and this whole review is kind of oxymoron. All right, so we got a lot of positive reviews. Let's see if we can find some that are maybe not as positive. This 2-star review says starter company, class A truck driver, good for experience only, bare minimum pay no matter how productive you are, make this your last resort if no one else will take you, get your experience and keep looking elsewhere. Okay, so this is a 1-star here out of Salem, Oregon from a Class A driver. Micromanaging, poor to no home time. You get a daily rate no matter how much you work. The pay sucks. They don't care about your home time and their trucks break down all the time. The pros is they hire anyone and they go anywhere. Cons is pay, management, time off, and equipment. They gave a 1-star review for literally everything. Here's the deal with over-the-road trucking. You're going to be over the road. You're not going to get a whole lot of home time. The general average, as is with May Trucking and a lot of other companies, they want you to stay out for 3 to 4 weeks at a time to get 3 to 4 days of home time. So it's every week out, you get 1 day home. And this is generally the case across the board. There's a handful of companies that will get you home on the weekends and so on and so forth, but as a general rule, this is going to be the case. And I hate to break it to you guys, but this is a very demanding job. It requires a lot of your time, a lot of your attention, and I know you guys are just starting out, so seeing numbers like this and the pay being so low, it gives you this sense that there's no money in trucking. But I can assure you, if you dedicate yourself to it and give it a year or two, you will see that the fruits of your labor will pay off over time. In trucking, the name of the game is experience, and the more experience you have and the more safe miles you have, the more valuable you become to the industry and the more you're sought after. So if you can get through the first couple of years where it's tough, I promise you that the money will definitely follow. Okay, this 1-star review here says fruitless, Class A full endorsement. Says they abandon their drivers when it's convenient for them. If you want no personal life, low pay, and no benefits, then this is the place for you. If you want to be talked down to and treated like a second-class citizen, then this is the right place for you. But if you develop a heart disorder or something else, then be prepared to be dumped. This company is horrible, spent way too many years there, and for what? Nothing. If they want to really help the trucking industry, they'll shut their doors. Okay, it says pros is overworked and cons is underpaid. That's kind of funny. It seems like this guy had a bad experience here, and I don't really have much of an excuse for that. If they're going to dump people over getting sick and spending a lot of years there, then I'm not sure what's going on over there. But my general rule of thumb for most drivers is your starter company isn't going to be your finishing company, and especially one with really low pay like this. So if May Trucking offers you an opportunity and you don't have another place to go, I would take him up on it, and just understand that after a year or so, you want to start browsing and looking for better opportunities. And this is generally the case across most of the major carriers. The best way to get the most accurate information is to talk to drivers that actually work there. And this is one of the rare occasions where we'll actually get to talk to a driver from May. And in fact, he's been a part of my Discord server for quite some time. So much so that since he's jumped into a solo truck, he made it onto the Cab Climb Club. And that is his truck right there. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and talk to Mr. Jake and see what it's been like for him working for May. Hey Jake, how you doing? So you went to work with with May Trucking. When did you start with them?
I started with them on October 18th.
October 18th.
Yes.
So you've been with them for a little over a week now, right?
A couple weeks, yeah.
Gotcha. When you got your CDL, you went through a private institution, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you know how much that ran you?
So I had it all paid through the VA. So I would say maybe about $7,000 to $8,000.
$7,000 to $8,000 total, but the VA paid for it?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So far, like what was like orientation like when you got over there?
So orientation was pretty simple. I mean, it was only what 3-4 days, kind of. Yeah, like 3 days, 3-4 days.
Okay.
Day one was basic. Hey, welcome to the company. We're just gonna do drug tests, do a skills course where it puts us through, a tight corner around cones, or not cones, tires. As well as doing a straight line back and a 45 back in. Also with a little bit of driving portion, just so that way to kind of see where our skills at as far as driving. Day two, they kind of ran us through. They ran us through the IVG in class.
What's the IVG?
The IVG is the intelligence vehicle guide or something like that. I can't remember the name. I usually have a blue book with me that has it. The IVG is basically like our electronic log.
Okay.
Basically has like all of our it has like our hours of service. It has our graphs, our certified tab, 8-day tab. Has all of our hours, as far as like our 8, 11, 14, and 70 hour clocks on there. All of our messages that we get from our driver managers, and all the other stuff that we have on there, navigation, stuff like that.
Very cool. So basically an ELD. Back in the day, I don't know if they still run them anywhere. I'm sure they do. It's such a huge company, but they were called Qualcomm, and it was basically just a big communication thing. So
yeah, that's what my driver manager called it. She was like, yeah, just message me on your Qualcomm and whatnot. And I was like, my what? And she was like, your IVG. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. So things have changed so much over this amount of time. So what was the process like for like getting on board? You filled out an application or did on the online and filled it out, submitted your information. They called you, or did you call them first and inquire? How'd that go?
I submitted an application. It was probably like my third week, probably going like behind the wheel when I was doing my behind the wheel training when it said they accepted it. And so I just decided to give them a call because I haven't heard anything from them. The only reason why is because there was this one accident that I had on my MVR.
Okay.
And they just wanted to get it cleared up before they could actually move on with the process, because the lady said she was going to give me a call, but she was trying to reach the school to try to confirm that. But since I confirmed it, she said, "All right, cool." She basically gave me the phone interview and whatnot. Set me up with my actual recruiter, who I would be talking to majority of the time, as far as like my process of going, getting my CDL and getting to orientation in Phoenix, and just getting everything set up for me to start my career with them.
Gotcha. And then, so even that you had a small minor accident in your personal vehicle, they still hired you on with it. They just they requested some information, explained to us what happened.
Yeah, because there wasn't like a police report or anything like that. There was no reports on it since police didn't get called since it was a single vehicle accident due to me hitting black ice. So they were just like, well, we just want to see if there was like any type of police report and stuff like that.
Gotcha. And then, so carrying on with the rest of your training, you get done with like the orientation process in the classroom on the yard stuff.
Yeah.
What happened after that as far as going out with a trainer? How long were you with them?
So since I went to United States Truck Driving School down in Fountain, Colorado, they pretty much got us set up to where we were perfectly good to go with pretty much any company that we worked with. So my time with my mentor was pretty much like sped up a little bit. Me and another friend of mine, since we both went to the same exact school, like our mentors were pretty much just, hey, go down to San Bernardino and back and you guys are done. The only reason why is because they just want to see how we would do, like, as far as like going through weigh stations, going through port of entries, and dealing with actual like state to state traffic and whatnot.
Gotcha.
So I was pretty much fast tracked through my mentorship, which is fine. Like I had no problems with it. So
did you feel confident after such a short time with a trainer that you would be good solo?
Yes, I did. You know, because I mean, I had the confidence of my mentor. He was like, "Dude, honestly, I don't even know why they stuck you here with me. They could have just sold you out while you were there."
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you do good, you do good. My only caution to you is keep a level head about it. Don't get big headed and end up screwing up something just because you're good.
Oh yeah, no, of course. You know, I'm still, you know, because I still know I'm still learning. So there are still a couple things that I do get stuck on, or there are things that I'm still not too sure about that I still call my driver manager just to confirm. Or, you know, if I'm having like trouble like getting into like a spot on the yard, whether if I'm at a shipper or a consignee, then there's always at least like another veteran driver to like help me out and whatnot, just so that I can get more comfortable. But since I've been sold out for about 2 weeks now, or about 2.5 weeks, I feel pretty confident in my skills, you know, to basically tackle whatever they need me to do and whatnot. So
awesome. Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that a lot of old time truck drivers like myself will say. I mean, they were saying this when I started out, is the day you stop learning is the day you should hang up your keys.
yeah.
So definitely keep an eye out on that. I'm sure you'll be fine, but just a word of caution from an old timer.
Right.
So would you be confident sharing your cents per mile with us?
Yeah, sure. So as far as like my pay, well, I mean, I could also just, you know, confidently give you basically like my pay scale pretty much. So pretty much I'm starting off at $120 for a minimum day pay. So any day that I'm available, I get paid $120 for that day. And then of course, if I'm, you know, driving whether to the consignee or the shipper with an empty load, I still get paid 41 cents a mile. But at the end of the month, if my mileage is more than my day pay, then what they will do is they'll add the difference between the minimum day pay and the actual cents per mile. They'll add that difference onto the final check.
Okay, so at minimum, you're going to get $120 a day regardless, as long as you're available in the truck ready to rock and roll. If 41 cents per mile ends up being more than that, they'll compensate that at the end of the month.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, and then on average, I know you've only been doing it 2 weeks, so it shouldn't be too terribly bad. What's your miles per week?
So far, I think within like my first week, I think I did maybe like 1,600 to maybe 2,000 miles maybe so far.
Awesome.
As far as like home time goes, you know, they don't care if you take home time. However, they just got like, for me, I qualify for the 48 states, for the lower 48. So I'll be going all across in their reefer division. And they said if we're taking home time, just let them know about like a week to like 2 weeks beforehand if we are taking home time, so that way they can plan you out to get you back home. But if you're like on their western side, they just need about 3 or 4 days, so that way they can get you back within like at least within a couple miles of your home and whatnot.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, that's one of the unfortunate things about trucking is, you know, if you're wanting to take home time, it takes time to get you back to where your house is, kind of dependent on where you're at. So if you give your dispatchers enough time to do that, they normally can work it out. Then again, there's other companies out there, experience over here, that you'll tell them, I need to be home, you know, in 2 Fridays from now, and 3 Fridays from now, you're still sitting there tapping your wrist. Well, when's my time to go home?
Yeah.
So sounds like they're doing pretty good with that so far.
Yeah, no, like so far it is a great company so far. You know, my driver manager, you know, if I tell her I want to run, she'll make me run.
Good. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time for your dispatchers to get to know you and you to know your dispatchers as well. There's some people that prefer to just chill, do a rolling clock versus maxing out their clock and taking a 34. So if they're more of a chill driver, if you have good communication with your dispatch, it should work out okay, as long as they're a good dispatcher.
Oh yeah, and plus honestly, my dispatcher was actually my mentor's dispatcher as well. So I already had that connection with her anyway. So
gotcha.
Because usually what they do with ELDs, with like entry level drivers, they'll stick them with the entry level driver dispatcher. And they said she's pretty good But for me, I immediately got like my permanent dispatcher. So.
Gotcha. That's cool. So a couple of questions just based off of my recruiter phone call that I've done already. She did say that the trucks were governed at 61 miles per hour during training and 65 after training. Is that true?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you don't have to deal with tuition reimbursement at all because you got that covered through VA. She did mention these camera situations, everybody's favorite topic. The outward facing cameras, they said that they utilize those, but the interior ones, they are a part of the system, but they don't actually use those.
Correct. Yeah. So what they use is Linux, I think it is.
Okay.
And yeah, so usually it would only like trigger if there's like an actual collision about to happen, then it will start recording. But it will like constantly record the drive, but it will realistically it would just capture the moment before the collision to the collision happened. And it runs 24/7. So even when I'm asleep, like at a truck stop or like at a yard or at one of our yards. If somebody was to hit me, it will activate and record what happened.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the road thing is fine. I mean, that's definitely there for safety. And it's good to see that there are still a handful of companies left that aren't utilizing that interior camera yet.
Yeah.
So, so far, what is your favorite part about May Trucking?
So far, honestly, it's kind of hard to say because there's a lot of good things about the company. I mean, like as far as like, because like their motto is big enough to make a difference, but small enough to care. So they do care about their drivers, and they do want to make sure their drivers are taken care of at the end of the day. But honestly, for me, it would have to be my my dispatcher or my driver manager, because they don't call them dispatchers, they call them driver managers.
Gotcha. What's your least favorite part so far?
I would have to say like my least favorite part is of course the pay, but I mean that's everybody, because yeah, like the pay isn't good, but a buddy of mine, he talked to this one dude, he said as long as you get in contact with your dispatcher every 90 days, about your raise, and they'll start bumping you up and whatnot. So
right. Yeah, I will say just from what I've seen so far doing all these deep dives and stuff, 41 cents, even up to the 45 after a year, that's still pretty low. But if they can make up for that in the miles and keep you guys moving, I mean, it's not always about how much you're making per mile, so long as you're getting the miles. You can make $100 a mile, but only run 100 miles a week, and it still stinks.
Yeah, but I mean, and like I said, I even did my own little like, investigation on the company, and so far the only thing that like I said, I've saw nothing but good things about the company. The only bad thing was the pay, but my buddy talked to a veteran driver. He's been there for 4 years, and he's been and he says he does pretty good as far as like his minimum day pay and his cents per mile. So
yeah, that's one of the things too that I find it hard to recommend a specific company to people because it depends on what you're looking for. It seems like May is treating you right and treating you well, and the pay might not be as big as some of the other companies, but their quality of care for the driver could be exponentially more.
And also, it's also nice because they'll stick like the new drivers like in like one of their older trucks, and then like once those trucks reach like their time limit, then they'll stick us in a newer truck.
Sweet. What are you guys driving? Freightliner International?
We drive Freightliner Cascadias.
Okay. What year are you in right now?
Right now I'm in a 2024, but they got it back in 23. So kind of like the end of 23, beginning of 24. So that's considered one of their older cars because it has the 23 in front of it.
Gotcha. So how is, I haven't been in one that new yet. How is all the safety equipment and stuff as far as, I know the lane assist or not lane assist, lane departure, collision mitigation, all that stuff drove me absolutely crazy.
I mean, the lane departure does drive me crazy at times because I could be like, maybe like an inch or two away from the line, and then my driver's side might or my passenger side might go off when there's like nothing there. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, why the heck are you going up? Like, I'm in the middle of the lane.
Right.
But the lane departures, you know, they are nice. Collision is nice. But yeah, they are governed at 61. But also they have like assisted braking. So basically what my mentor said was basically the truck drives itself. All we got to do is just steer it.
Okay.
You know, so like if it shows that, you know, you're way too close, not only would it brake, but it'll also engage the Jake brake
Gotcha.
to slow you down even faster or whatnot. So that way it keeps that speed, or it keeps that distance, and then once that distance is reached, then it will start to speed back up and continue keeping you at a safe distance.
Okay, so it's got the following distance adjustment on cruise control.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's adaptive cruise control and
right.
adaptive braking.
Gotcha. Have you ran into a situation yet where you've come across a bridge or an overpass and it picked it up and it hit the brakes for you?
No, not yet. I haven't had that happen yet. So.
Okay, and then is there a way to override the braking system, the automatic stuff?
Yeah, just hit the brakes and it stops the cruise control, so that way you can manually press the brakes. With the Jake brake, it is lever activated, so like the top is like auto and off, and then you have your low, medium, and high Jakes. So, I mean, we could keep it all, you know, manual, but you know, it's nice just having that assisted braking and following distance and whatnot.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you. Do you want to ask me anything?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, just that, you know, I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate the channel that you made. You know, like it's really helped me out, you know, in trying to find the right company for me. So.
Yeah, dude. Like I said before, man, I mean, it's just truly an honor to be able to help out people. I didn't have all these avenues of learning when I was going through it. So I'd like to give back and make sure that other drivers aren't getting tripped up with just not knowing the information. So yeah. I try my best to do that, but I'm glad I was able to help you, and I hope you have a successful career and you get off the ground and keep learning and doing good.
Yeah, and honestly, and I'm just gonna say this, like, and this is what I've heard from plenty of drivers. You know, May Trucking Company, it's a great company, but it's more of a entry level company or an entry level driver company. You know, you go there, work your year to 2 years, and then you take off. I mean, that's just what I've heard from all the other drivers. So
that's pretty standard across all the major carriers. Generally, you're not going to stick with a major carrier for your entire career. It's unfortunate, but just kind of the way it is. There are some people that will do that, but at the end of the day, it's okay to look for greener pastures elsewhere. Your cents per mile could go up to 45 cents after a year, but if you make a switch, you might be jumping up to 50 after 6 months. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, and start pointing yourself in that direction to where you want to go.
Yeah, so right now, I think when my buddy talked to one of the veteran drivers, he said he's actually making 66 cents a mile right now. So
over at May?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I wonder how long he's been there.
He said about 4 years.
Okay, that's not terrible. That's right around 3-4 years is right around the time you should be right at that mark. So there must be a major pay jump at the second year or something like that.
Yeah, but you know, who knows? But he said, you know, every 90 days, you know, just talk to your driver manager, see if they've put you in for your raise, your quarterly raises and whatnot. So
I know they said something about other routes. Did they have an opportunity to go to more regional or local?
So as far as other routes, I know for sure they only do 2, which is their Western division, which is mainly just dry van. And then they have their lower 48, which is mainly reefer. Okay,
gotcha. Have you had issues being on reefer with being stuck in the dock for long periods of time?
I would say about 2 hours is probably like my max, you know, 2 to 3 hours, maybe.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty standard. I remember one time I spent 11 hours in a dock waiting to get unloaded on reefer.
Oh God. Yeah, no. Majority of this company is all drop and hook, and some live loads or live unloads and whatnot.
Yeah, that drop and hook definitely would be, if I were to ever go back into reefer, there's no way I'm not doing drop and hook.
Yeah, so, they said we're pretty much 100% or like 99% no touch freight. So I'm just like, all right, cool. I ain't got to get out and touch anything. Bet.
Sweet. Yeah. Awesome, buddy. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and talk to me today and give these other drivers a little bit of a glimpse into May Trucking.
Of course. I appreciate you.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
It was great to hear from Jake and hear that he's doing really well over there at his first truck driving company and that they seem to be treating him really fairly. But now for the question, okay or no way, would iTrucker219 go to work for May Trucking? And the answer to that is no way. But this is one of those companies that it all depends on what you're looking for in your driving career. But even though the pay is low, it seems like the company really takes an interest in their drivers and makes sure that they're doing well out on the road, often going above and beyond what other companies will do. And based off of the reviews, it also seems like they're willing to give drivers that may have a little bit of a checkered past an opportunity. And what do I mean by checkered past? I mean either a little bit of issues on your driving record. They've even been known to hire some individuals with felonies. So this means that May Trucking could give you the opportunity to change your trajectory in life, start a new career, and make a different name for yourself. So like I said, even though for me personally the pay would not be enough for me to be interested in going to work for May, this company could be the perfect fit for you. But I want to hear from you guys. Have you gone to work for May Trucking? What was your experience like with them? Leave that down in the comments below so other drivers can see your experience as well. Don't forget to send me a picture of your truck and I'll add it to the Cab Climb Club too. And if you want to check out all the other companies that I've done a deep dive on so far, click the playlist right here. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right? Bye.